we should be live. In theory. Possibly. Let's just double check. There we go. And excellent. We are live. Still getting a handle on the whole multi-streaming thing. So, that's a little loud. Let's turn that down a little. Okay, that should be good. So, something completely different tonight, in that we are going to be doing some photo editing. So this is part of a project I am doing for myself, but also as a Christmas present. I have a lot of old photos here. As you can see, there's one on the screen, which, as you can see, it's a mess. It's absolutely a mess. So we're gonna do what we can to give these things a bit of a touch up. And yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. So hopefully all the captures work correctly. Where were we? We were here. Why is... One moment. I have a notification that I did not expect. I didn't realize that I had the Stream Elements bot set up for YouTube as well as Twitch. Okay, that explains the double messages. So excellent. So here we are. We have an old photo. So of course we're going to start. This is obviously a picture or a scan, probably an old slide, maybe. I don't know why it has the rounded corners, but we're just going to do this. Come to selection. We're going to auto heal. All the corners. Yep. That didn't do very well. Give it a little bit of a better view. Much better. Okay, we'll fix this a different way. Clone tool here. Blend that a little bit. No one will probably notice. Actually, no, that one stands out. Okay, we're going to undo all of this because I don't like how it turned out. This time, we'll give it some different settings. We want to go sides. Okay, now, when we do this, much better. Now it's not really noticeable. All right, now we're just going to rename this. I'm going to duplicate, just so that we have something to compare against. And, all right, first things first. Let's see how well the computer fixes things for us. Not great. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. We're gonna have to go this way. I don't know if I have all my alerts and stuff set up on this scene, but unfortunately, the problem was that the window capture was only showing the main window, not the tool windows. And the tool windows is where some of the more interesting stuff happens. So we have far, far too much red. Like so much more red than we should. It's also oversaturated. The thing is that I wish I knew what color things were supposed to be. Like, obviously, like, it's overexposed. Like, stuff is washed out, so we've got a bunch of, like, white everywhere. That appears to be a cheesecake? So, let's try a couple things. Let's take our exposure. What happens if we do this? No, we're clearly oversaturated. Alright. Let's take our black level back to 0. And we want our exposure down a little bit. Yes, colors, saturation. Okay, that's a little bit too gray, but it's much improved. We're still too red. The problem is because it's so washed out, that's why the automatic balance isn't able to do anything for us. Like, if we just say white balance, it's like, hey, here it is, and it's just like, no, the people are still entirely too white, or too red, rather. I don't know what color this wall is supposed to be, which is one trick. Like, everything is too red. No, not you. Hue saturation. Red. Okay. It's vastly improved, but it's looking a little green. Like, there we go. And we're back. So look at how much stuff we have in the upper range here. That's the thing. If we take away the red, it turns green. So that's fine. We'll go to the green channel. Okay. I think I'm making more of a mess of this, so let's cancel out. Alright. There's only so much we can do for this picture. Like, obviously, we've come a long way. Like, that's the original, and here's where we are now. There is, of course, the texturing that you can see here from whatever, like, cardstock this was printed on. So that's something that we're not really going to even attempt to address. But we can try to make these people slightly less red. And we're going to cheat a little bit to do this. Select by color. By red. Really? That ring is just as red as they are, according to the... Fine. I don't like that method. We'll just fuzzy select it. I'm just trying to fix it. So, also, welcome, Cozy Bean. So this is part of a Christmas gift for my mother and her family, because these are like old pictures of like her when she was growing up. The problem is the original photo looks like this. So, yeah. Like, there's a lot of bad quality stuff going on here. So, if I actually want to pull up a, let me see if I can pull up an example of one I've done already. Actually, I can just do this. Here we go. So, like, this is some examples of stuff that I've done already. So I actually, one of the reasons that this is difficult is I pulled these pictures down that my mom had posted on Facebook. Which means they're lower quality pictures to start with, because Facebook does compression and all. So that's like after I fix it up, that's like before. Like, it's all washed out, it's got the white border and everything. After, before. You know, so taking care of the washed outness. I believe that's my great-grandfather. This one actually did earlier today. So again, similar problem to the one I was looking at right now. Everyone looks super red, and all that. And we got it to somewhat more normal looking. I think, like, all of my aunts there and all are just, well, like, sunburned. And of course, this one, my aunt was on the crew team, so I'm assuming that's what this is from. You know, they've got the big long rowing shells. That's the after. That's the before. So that one came out really well, actually. I like that one. Of course, this is my mom and us at the beach. That's before, that's after. This one just had a, you know, anti-haze sort of thing on it. I didn't do a whole lot more. This one is, like, it doesn't look that good, like, because this is the after still. Until you see that that's the before. I had to repair that whole, like, scratched out area. And yeah, again, there's like just anti-haze stuff going on. Removing redness. Like, this one, there's only so much you can do. Like, again, because some of these start out really washed out, there's a limited amount that you can accomplish. Some are more dramatic than others. But yeah, so this one took me forever. I don't know what weird artifacting was going on here with the hair. Like, I don't know why the hair is red. It just is. Like, I don't know if the camera messed up or what, but it took me forever to figure out a way to try to fix that without breaking everything else. And even then, you can still see it's not quite right, but it is much improved. This is another one that's like, there's only so much you can do because it's like super overexposed. Like, all this is like washed out. This one it's not so good. Like, the before and after, they both look kind of meh. But yeah, that's the ones I've done so far. So the vision, as it were, is basically make people look like human beings. This is, I googled for like medieval like ambient background music. It is running off of YouTube. How's the audio balance on it, by the way? Excellent. Probably not. The thing is, I haven't been streaming in months, mostly due to a variety of things. Partially that I just didn't know what to do with my channel, and streaming to 0 to 1 people for like a year and a half is like, maybe I should do something different. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do differently, but among other things, with a fresh over the summer ADHD diagnosis, there's one thing that is actually a known strategy for being productive and actually getting around to doing things like this, which is just to have someone around, like not even to help you, just to like kind of be there. So I'm sort of like doubling up on streaming, accomplishing that task for me too. So it's why I remember to shave. It's like I hadn't gone anywhere today. I work remotely, so it's just like, well, actually getting on camera means, you know, shaving. Go figure. Okay. We're gonna move this to another layer. Alright. That's good enough. Okay, so now we're going to try to adjust the skin tones only. Oh no, I don't want levels, I want curves. That's your dream to work remotely? It's good and bad. There's a lot of good to it. It was only really bad during the pandemic, where I went, like, literally a year without touching another human being. So that wasn't great. But it's very convenient to not have a commute. So let's see. We're looking a little blue here. No, let's try adding a little bit of green. A little bit of green. To counterbalance the red. And then let's take our blues down a little. No, they already look too yellow. Blues up a little. No, they just look too purple. So we're definitely too red. Now they're too green. Smaller adjustment. Yeah, same. I also did that a lot in the past. Especially for me with working remotely, that might be the time to shower if I hadn't like snuck it in between meetings midday or something. Because it's very tempting when you work remotely to just roll out of bed and start working, which I did a lot. So let's see. We're gonna take the reds down a little bit. Maybe a little bit more over here too. I think that looks good. Oh yeah, that's much better. Let's see, what else do we want to do to this picture? We got some scratches we can repair. Ah, see, that is a thing. Yeah, if I were getting social stuff elsewhere, it'd be less of an issue. So we're just going to take out these little scratches and stuff on the film. Nope, not what we wanted. Alright, go smaller and more precise on this one. There we go. Let's see, merge down. It's not perfect. We got a little bit of green up top that I kind of want to get rid of. Let's take a look at that. Okay. Of course. Welcome back to Twitch. Here's your spam bot. Alright, where's my ban button? Not click to reply. Alright, click on username. Yes. Ah, there it is. Ban. Ban. Why is it not banning? Did they delete the thing before I could ban them? Ban. Thank you. So how have you been doing, Cozy? Still on mostly DDO? Just like, go away, spam bot. All right, so we're actually going to do this, and then we're going to do a subtract on this. All right, let's see what we can do about this. Colors. All right, let's look at our greens. Oh, really? You must have been growing a lot while I was away. what are you up to? Like, full-time streaming seems like you need a decent regular viewer base for that, don't you? Alright, that's a little bit... Right, I want to bring the lower ones down more. Just... no, too much. This side's already red. Alright, I'm just gonna call this one good enough. Special event. Okay. Cool. I haven't actually been playing DDO for probably 2-3 months now. Like, basically since I think Archetypes came out is about when I haven't been back. Not because, like, it drove me away, but just because I rotated to different games. Okay, this one's a little bit even more of a mess. We have a purple sky. Back. That is very weird. It must be something my internet hates about streaming specifically. Because I actually have had a couple different internet problems in the last few months, and they've replaced damn near everything. Yes, I missed the message because I got disconnected. Let's see. Oh, okay. So you have backup plans lined up. That sounds like well, a pretty reasonable thing to do. Oh, that's fair. I mean, if it's taking... I think it's a little bit easier to try to make streaming take the place of a full-time job. Or a part-time, yeah. Oh, job interview too, nice. So, I think I might just skip this picture entirely. Let's check something. How much detail is there even in this? Not much. Like, this one is so washed out, like, it's hard to even see anything anywhere. So I might just, like, not do this one. Yeah, I mean, I can make the white stuff darker, that's what I was looking at, but the problem is, if it's so white that... like, if I want to actually just go to shadows and highlights, I can take the highlights way down. But there's only so much data you can pull out of something that's mostly white. Like, I've got detail here, but, like, the entire middle area here is, like, completely washed out. And this part looks, like, completely smooth, too, even if we bring the highlights all the way down. Alright, looks like a wedding picture. Oh, well, obviously I could do that selectively to the image. Like, I don't need to do the whole thing at once. Like, we can just straight up, like, do this. Like, we can do that. Like, it's not a problem with them. It's a problem that I won't get the background looking good either. Oh, sorry, it was here. Yeah, like, I can do this, and I could, of course, pin it to, like, only around them, so I'd only get the sand on the beach, but even if I did, like, there's so little data on here. Like, it's... If you're familiar with the term, like, the signal-to-noise ratio, it's like the ripples in the sand are harder to pick out than, like, the noise from the photos and compression and whatnot. Okay, so this one is slightly off-center, so we'll trim a little bit. A little bit more. Okay. Filters. Enhance. And heal. Now that we've done it once, we can hotkey it. And we can hotkey it for this too. There we go. Okay. Where? Alright, first things first. This is... Well, first let's see what the automatic tools do, and then we'll see how much we have to do manually. Okay, automatic white balance did not do great things for us. Let's see, based on the background, I think this was in the fall? Especially given that, like, the women are in long dresses, I think some of the leaves are changing over here. So I'm not going to try to make them all, like, make the trees automatically green. But I am going to mess with the colors. Raise the brightness a little bit, but not so much that it looks washed out. Bit more bright. All right. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so the top part is too bright. Needs to come down. No, that's not that. I need to do a different change first. I want shadows and highlights. I want the highlights to come down some. Not that far down, obviously. A little bit. Like, I'm still gonna lose detail here. Like, same thing. It's like pure white. You can't see ripples. Yeah, it's a good pick. This would be, let's see, my mom, my aunt, and grandparents. I don't know whose wedding they're at. I don't have context for most of these pictures, actually. So we took the highlights down a little bit. And curves. So, obviously, we need a little bit more blue. Not that much more blue. About that much more blue. Red. We need a little bit less red. Not that much less red. They still have pink dresses on. I mean, I might have been able to if I, like, really paid attention, but I think the ones that she'd uploaded to Facebook were, like, in, like, dumps, so I don't remember that there were captions on each of them. Let's see. I think that's a silver thing. Let's see. Everything is still a little faded? Well, the background's a little faded, but the foreground is still washed out. Alright. How are the colors? Still too yellow on the faces. All right. now telling the AI where the foreground is. So that I can split these and work on them separately. Square brackets to change our brush size a little bit. Get grandma's poofy hair in here. Granddad's head. No. Colored outside the lines. They told me that would be an important skill. I should make up stories. That is a possibility, so... I mean, I can always say... I can always make up different stories. So this was the wedding of my great aunt to my great uncle. Of course, a lot of the family didn't show up because, well, they didn't approve of my aunt marrying my uncle. But, you know, sometimes when you're a little bit country, you just gotta make do with what you got in a small town. This is outside the lines. This is outside the lines. This is outside the lines. Accidentally nicked his shoulder there. I mean, sometimes you're not even a little bit rock and roll, no matter how hard you try. Alright, let's see how well the AI does. Decent. Select, invert. Foreground. Background. Right, so now I have foreground, which is not perfect, and I have background, which is also not perfect. Oddly enough, I inverted my selection and it did not work properly. So that's neat. But fortunately it means I can still look at the background and I can still come here to colors and I can mess with my saturation. And I want the background to be more saturated. Okay, not that saturated. And I want colors, hue saturation. Blue, overlap. Colors, curves. Let's add a little bit more blue. So we can see that from that line moving back and forth, that the sky is in this range. So we actually, if we want the sky to be more blue, we're going to raise that there and keep this down. Keep this down over here. So we get a much nicer blue sky there. Not quite so gray. It's maybe a little bit too blue. Too fakely blue. There we go. So we go from gray to a little bit more blue. We still have a general problem, and our foreground colors. Curves again. We're mostly concerned with skin tones, so let's come back here to red. You can see that our skin tones here are mostly in this range. So we're going to take the reds down in this range. But if we look at the dresses are also in that range, so this is fine. Yeah, like we can turn them all green, but we don't want to do that. We still have a little bit too much yellow, and we can counteract that by adding a little bit more blue. In the bottom ranges. No, not that much blue. Just a little bit more blue. No, that's still too much. Alright, so the question is, what color is that suit supposed to be? Which is always the trick. Is it supposed to be this more yellowish color, or is it supposed to be like a gray suit? Actually, I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that his shirt is supposed to be white. So we can see that the shirt is supposed to be white. Gray or tan? Yeah, or tan? Yeah, probably. So I'm going to assume his shirt's supposed to be white, and that he wasn't wearing a discolored suit, because that's not the kind of person he was. So we can just bring the blue up until the shirt looks white, which I think is about there. Alright. Yeah, so let's merge down. So we've gone from here to here. The faces are still a little red, but I think I'm okay with it. The dresses are a little bit bluer than I'd like, but I think it's alright. Huh. True. It is a nice look. Let's see. I don't even know half the people in this picture. That's an aunt of mine. But I don't know about the rest. The problem with... this is a rough one. Let's see what we can do, though. Fortunately, this wasn't like a picture of a picture, necessarily. So we don't have like the rounded edges to take care of. But let's start with the shadows and... oh, wait. Sorry. First things first. Duplicate. Original. There we go. Leave the original alone so we can compare. But you see how we've got really harsh shadows here. Like, the noses and foreheads are like white, and then like the eyes and the shadows are super dark. So we're going to see what we can do about bringing those highlights down a little bit. If you want wanting help with streaming viewers. I don't have any goals of like it being a career, but I do like with you taking your time to visit me, which is lovely. I appreciate you. I do like having people here to like bounce off of and talk to. So I'm not looking to get like 20, 30, 40 viewers. If I can get a regular half dozen, that's fine. But to your other question about what's important to you and what brings in viewers and meet in the middle, that is something I need to look into. One thing is, of course, that I have no social media presence in general, so there's no marketing. And Twitch is terrible for discovery. So who's gonna see me to find me? Like, you probably found me because I'm on the DDO page, and there's not a lot of people there. It's a fairly small community, but it's not a great place to get found. Oh, but for important versus something people will watch. Obviously, I do think it is like what you said. There's a little bit of meeting in the middle. That there's like a list of things that, you know, are important to me or that I enjoy. And when I look at that list, I should just pick whatever's at the top of the list. Because whatever's at the top of the list might be completely niche and like no one will ever find it or pay attention. Which is fine, not everything is popular. And even then I don't need to go for popular. I can go for niche as long as I market to that niche. But, you know, you look at the list, it's like, well, these are the different things I would like to do. And then you can pick from the list to be like, well, from these things that I like to do, I think I can market this, or I think I can present it well. Or perhaps from a better point of view, I think this thing that I'm interested in will be most interesting to other people. Not thinking of it from the point of view of like, I will get viewers, but from the point of view is, what is a quality product that people will like? So it's not about, it's like, how do I get viewers? It's, how do I make something good that people will like? And then the viewers are like the follow-on effect of that. It's like, first, make something good. Don't like be like, I will follow this trend to get viewers. It's like, yeah, some people are successful that way, but that way lies burnout and sellout and all sorts of things. It's about, you know, gotta make something good that people want to watch. And I haven't figured out what that is. So, alright, where were we? We were trying to take the highlights down. Not that far down. Can we take the shadows up? Is it not identifying any of these black areas as shadows? Or is it just that they're pure black, so there's nothing to bring out? Yeah, I think they're just pure black, so there's nothing to bring out. Okay. We'll see what we can do still. Let's look at exposure, maybe? Or brightness and contrast. Let's take the contrast down. No. And it's already super high contrast. Okay, slightly better. The coloring isn't that bad. Like, the trees are green, the sky is blue. The main problem with this one seems to be the exposure, and I don't know if I can fix that here. Like, it might be fixable, but it might just be that I personally don't have the necessary skills. But let's go here and see what we can do. That seems like a really weird pattern. Actually, I don't think I've tried this yet. Auto white balance takes it back to how it was before. Because it's like, oh, that thing when you brightened it, that threw the white balance off. It's like, well, I think I'm gonna pass on this one too. Just because I don't know who these people are, even. Okay. This is clearly, like, a cropped out, like, yearbook photo. Like, isn't it? Like, this is a sports team yearbook photo, 100%. It is incredibly red. How much can you fix it on your own? Not at all. Alright, we're going all manual. Wait, no. I did it wrong. There we go. Better. Not great. I might start over manually. Okay. We'll see if that did anything. Alright, slightly better. I do want the grass to actually be green, though. No, now she's turning green. Wait, are those... Oh, this one's got a lot of little spots on it. I don't know what these are from, but... Let's clean these up. Click on the dots. Click on the dots, click on the dots. Now, as for discovery, like, in theory, like, TikTok was supposed to be good for that, but who knows if that's going to be around anymore, since there's that law going through to try to ban it. Because it's effectively China could be like, you know what? We're going to decide who sees which news stories, because if we control what's on people's feeds. So it's easy to run massive propaganda campaigns that way. Oh, that's right. I forgot that YouTube Shorts are a thing, even though I've totally, like, actually used those as opposed to TikTok, which I haven't. Sorry, used as in been a consumer for, not a producer. Nope, didn't like that one. We're gonna leave that alone. You switch off? Like, you change which platforms you're on? Oh, okay. I've heard varying reviews of that's efficacy. I think I just need to mostly revisit what I want to do, and then decide how I want to promote it. Alright, I think that one's good. Huge improvement. It's a lot easier when I have, like, skin tone against grass, but not platforms. You switch off the type of content you do? Oh, costumes or redeems or workout streams. Okay. Redeems are tricky. Because there's sort of a feedback loop there. Like, I have redeems. Not a lot of them get used because there's no one here to redeem them. So, that is something to consider. Excuse me. But yes, I can try to do a variety of things. I don't know what's going on in this picture. I mean, I know who it is. I don't know why they're in that outfit. I'm going to say it was like some sort of theme day at school. She might be. I know that she's told a story about... So one time, they made a... Have you ever made salt and flour dough? It's like cheap clay / Play-Doh. So basically, you mix together flour, salt, and water, and it forms into basically something that you can sculpt with. So what they did is they made a bunch of these, and they went around to like a retirement home, like they painted them and everything. They made, I think it was penguins or something, and they went around to like pass them out as like kind of a holiday, like engage with the elderly, like that sort of thing. So the problem was, at least one of these old ladies thought it was a candy and took a big bite of said salt and flour dough little statue thing. So, that didn't work out as well as hoped. But yes. Also, they get relatively hard, or at least brittle. Alright, so this wall is completely white. So, we're going to duplicate layer. We're going to come here. Auto color correct isn't going to do anything. At least I don't think so. Yeah, no, it isn't. Because it sees, alright, I have full black, I have full white, I'm good. The colors are fine. And they're not. They're very much not. Okay. I don't need to see all this. I can focus in on the wall and the skin tones. As with the others, it's mostly an issue with the red channel. I don't want to take too much red out, though, because at least I can look at the brick here and make sure that I'm not, like, totally unredding the brick. But as you can see, you can take a lot of red out, and the brick still looks like brick. It just looks like older, dirtier brick, which it very well might have been. Brick doesn't always look bright red. So the brick is mostly in this range. The pants are up here. The face is also up there. Okay, so I can take a little bit out of the brick just to make it, like, not so overwhelmingly red, because it is overwhelmingly red. You also have a consistent schedule. This is my first stream in probably like 3 months. But when I did stream, I did have a consistent schedule. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Today is a Thursday. Okay, no, we don't want that. Okay, we don't want to turn the wall blue, is the thing. Wait, that's way too harsh. Or maybe it isn't. Okay, yeah, if we take out too much red, we lose detail in the hair, so I'll need to look at that. Oh wait, she even has a hat on. I couldn't even tell because it was so dark. She has like a little bowler hat. Okay. If you said anything after, do you have a consistent schedule? I did not see it, because apparently either there's one of two things going on here. Either my internet is constantly dropping and coming back, which is possible, and it's just I don't notice because everything else has big enough buffers that it doesn't affect anything. But when I'm streaming, it gets disconnected and comes back. Or there's something about streaming specifically that makes it blink. I'm pretty sure it does blink on its own, though, because I think like one of the chat apps I use, maybe like Reddit chat or something, I'll see like notifications that it pops up. It's like looking for internet, found internet, like just randomly throughout the day. It's like, it's very odd. So, okay. So we want to take some red out of the skin tones, but not out of the hair. Where's the hair? All right, the hair is all here in the bottom. So we want to leave the red in the hair. But we want to take it down. All right, not that far down. A little bit down out of the brick and the skin tone range. That's entirely possible. All right, so this part, yeah, we can take down higher parts too. Just not like the very top, like you can, all right, let me expand this so you can actually see it because it's pretty small. There is like a line here that shows how much of the color is in each ranges, and you can see that there's a massive spike here, and that's the white wall, which is why I don't want to drop this one, because if I drop that point that's all the way to the right, that wall's going to change color. Yeah, it turns like teal, and we don't want that. Or on the game you're playing? That is a possibility. It requires having friends, though. Oh, wait, no, that's not good. You see what we just did? We turned, like, some of her face green. Alright, well, it's better than it was. Yeah. It's not quite as, red everything. Let's see if we can, get some definition on the hair. Let's bring the shadows up. Now, collaboration is, as always, an interesting idea, but there's always a bit of a problem with it in that, why would someone collaborate with me? Not that, like, I'm bad or anything, but I don't really bring a lot to the table. It's like, because this is supposed to be kind of a mutually beneficial thing, like, we combine our forces and it's better and so on and so forth, but I don't really bring anything as far as like streaming goes, like as far as like audience or experience or anything. That's true, I am fun and interesting, thank you. But on more practical, we'll say concrete measures, it's a little bit harder. All right, so I can't increase the exposure on this too much or it's going to look super weird. Oh, see, that requires being good at games. Now you're just having unreasonable expectations. Right, that's the shadow behind her, so I don't know if I actually... Actually, this is the shadow, too. It's just hard to tell. Find some fun games to test. I have been considering almost like doing kind of a review thing, like just hitting whatever's in the Humble Bundle and like seeing it's like, all right, well, what's in the Humble Bundle this week? Or this month, rather. All right, let's not include this bit. All right, so let's go with brightness and contrast. All right, not that much brightness. Higher contrast, lower contrast. Actually, selection to path. Thank you. Can I raise the brightness? Because the white's not going to get any more white. Trying tests on the title. Alright, so we're going to go for brightness and contrast. We're going to bring the brightness up a little bit, so we can see some details in the hair. We're going to have to bring the contrast up a little bit so it doesn't get all... No, that looks worse. I've lost details in the arm. Right, I got a little bit more detail out of the hair there. Okay, we're just going to do this now because I'm seeing it and it's annoying me. Thank you. What else? What does this picture need to look better? I don't know if this wall was pure white, but I'm not going to be able to do anything to it without changing it. Like, it looks like there is a thing here. Like, you can see the faintest of shadows around it, but there's not a lot to do with it. Can I, like, just fix her skin tone? Let's try that. Actually, I don't want the lips. No, not the wall. Okay. Let's try this again. Just the skin tone. Take the general brightness down slightly. Then take the reds down now. Maybe she's not too red, maybe she's too yellow, which means I need more blue. Yeah, I think that's better. There we go. Okay, we got a lot of extra yellow here on the faces. All right, and it's another one that we have to trim a bit. I'm actually just going to take the very easy route because the people are completely in frame. I don't need to correct corners. I can just crop out a little bit of the surroundings. It's fine. All right, duplicate. Let's see what it does on automatic. All right, that's a decent first step for automatic. And let's get to some manual color fixing. All right, so the sky is already very blue, but their faces are very yellow. Like, what is this blue? That's up here. That's also in there. Okay. Like, if I increase the blue, all right, not that much, obviously. This can go up. Okay. I think we still got a little bit too much red, though. No. I like using curves more. Technically, levels and curves are the same tool as far as like what they do. Rough and tough both work in this case. Alright, so we have this huge spike in red over here. The question is, how bright are those bricks on those buildings? Because I don't think they're that bright red. That is like an unnatural level of red. So I'm actually going to do this for now. It makes it look too dark, but we're going to try to make up for that by adding overall brightness. Did I just mess this up? I think I did. Okay. Yeah. I took the red down too low. Scarf is in the middle. The face is up top. The face is also up top. So we can move this here. We can move this down. We can move this. We'll take it down all of it a little bit, but we're going to take the faces down more until they turn green. No. Until they turn less red. They're still too yellow, so we're going to add a little bit more blue. That's obviously too blue. I have turned the snow completely blue. That's about as much as we're going to do there. So the snow is all up here. So we can leave that alone. We can drop the brightness. That looks fine. I think this is an improvement. That's about as good as I'm going to get on this one. It's not great. Some of the others had better improvements, but the ones with where the people are smaller are more difficult. Alright, so this one shouldn't be too bad. We've got a scratch to take care of here. We've got some people who are very red. But first... crop the size. Image crop to size. There we go. Let's see if it does well on the automatic. It does not. Fortunately, this one isn't completely washed out. Like, obviously her shirt is, like, super washed out. Like, the white on that shirt is whiter than any shirt has ever been, ever. But let's do a little bit of repairing here first. There we go. Yeah, it's like she has a very white striped shirt there. Here, you know what? I got you, boo. Boom. Blemish gone. Let's actually take a look here and see if there are any details there. Nope. It's just white. Unlike the socks, which at least have some texture to them at the tops. A little bit less so down here. Okay. We're going to start with some brightness and contrast. What do we think? Do we think this is too light or too dark? With the exception of her shirt, which is obviously full white. Actually, we're just going to do colors first. Colors are like the majority of what these things need. Value, red, you have way too much. Tone it down. Alright, so this looks like it's wood, so that's one thing we can compare against. And so we have wood and we have skin tones. This is not a sports thing. They're very tan, so we have to keep that in mind for our skin tone adjustments. Right, so if I go any lower, like the whole thing starts to look green, except for their skin, which is still too red. So we're going to bring these up a little bit to make it a more minor adjustment. We're going to come here to hue saturation. We're going to go to red. We're just going to drop our saturation on red. All right, maybe not that far down. We don't want people being completely gray. Take a little bit of the edge off at least. Yeah, it is red. It's just so much red. Alright, so we're gonna desaturate some red. Actually, can we hue shift it? What do we want to hue shift it to, though? Like, if we hue shift it to yellow, like... So you can see where all the red is, because it's the part that's changing color. Okay, if we turn the overlap down, like that's where all the red is. We're just going to turn the saturation down a little bit on the red. All right, we're turning down the saturation on a lot on the red. What's this? Alright, so I think this is white painted cinder block, which has a bit of a yellow tone to it, but not this much yellow. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to add some blue until this gets a little closer to white. Alright, it's better. What else do I want to do to make this picture look better? Like, she's still very red. Carefully select just her. Deselect that. We'll just use this method for this. this. And of course, back to our selection tools for fuzzy select. And add the face. Probably should exclude the eyes, but you know, I'm getting a little bit lazier. I want this piece too. This is leg. This is leg 2. Alright, that's going to have to be precise enough. Alright. More green. Rawr. A little bit too much green. But it actually does look better with the more green to counteract the red. Looks like a more human skin tone. Which is something that is funny, and it's something I learned in a trip long ago out west. So when you're in the far west, think like Utah, like the mesas, where it's all like red. Like, if you've ever been to, like, Mesas National Park or the Grand Canyon, like, all the rock is red and everything. So you go out on a, like, trail hike out there, and you look at your skin, and your skin looks green. When you're, because you're comparing it to the red that surrounds you entirely. So that's sort of the lesson I'm trying to apply here by not just, like, dropping the red a little bit, but trying to increase the green. You know what? I think that's way better. You're home away from home? Yeah, when I was young, I think like 5th grade, we went on a long trip out there. Like, we went on, I think it was only like, well, it's not that long. 3 weeks, maybe? I was young enough that I don't remember it all specifically. But the trick was that, oh, you live in the West-ish? Aha, yes. I am East Coast, so this was something that happened long ago. But we had, like, a family vacation. And we rented an RV. We, like, flew into Utah. I am East Coast, yes. So we flew into Utah. We rented an RV. We went, like, we drove the RV up to Yellowstone. Drove it down to the Grand Canyon. We hit a bunch of parks all along the way, up and down. No. Not a school trip. Alright. I might punt on this one. Probably. As I mentioned, I was in 5th grade, so I was not involved in the planning of this at all. So, let's see what we can do with this one a little bit. Like, the automatic color balance is going to do nothing for me. Yeah, it sees white, it sees black. Like, the tree is almost full black. Everything's washed out. I don't know if I can do anything with this. We're gonna try to see if we've got a little bit of information here in our shadows. Nope, straight black. How about, our highlights? I can see a little bit more detail on some stuff if I bring the highlights up. Zion and Bryce. I know we did Arches. I know we did Bryce. I don't remember if we did Zion or not. So here's the sad thing. So we were there in Arches National Park, and I forget something about like the logistics, or we were tired from all the other hikes we had done, but we opted to not like hike out to see the Needle's Eye Arch. And that was like a week before it was destroyed by like vandals, like drunken vandals. So that was unfortunate. Okay, so there is some detail on that tree, but not much. We take the contrast down. It looks a little better with the contrast down. And the brightness up a little bit. I'm punting on this one. Like, it's not, it doesn't look good. It's not going to look good. Wait, what? Oh, there was a scratch on that. I forgot I removed that. Okay, so this one is interesting in that it looks like this one is too purple. Crop to selection. So let's give the AI a shot at this one. I don't expect good things from it. Like, sometimes it does a really good job, and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, it did a first pass, I guess. There is a lot of white in this picture. Let's see what we can do about that. Okay, why does this part change when I drag shadows, but not this part? All right, we'll take the highlights down a little bit so we can see some more details. Yeah, okay. Shadows and highlights. All right, so we're going to take the shadows up a little bit. All right, not that much. Up a little bit. We're going to take the highlights down. Get ourselves a little bit better range here. I don't know what this does. What does the radius do? I'm just going to leave it where it started because I don't know exactly what it does. Compress. Press the effect on shadows, highlights, and preserve midtones. Okay. Spatial extent, shift white point. Okay. We're going to call that good. And then we're going to go to color adjustment. All right. So I think we've got a little bit too much blue in this one, which is an odd thing. Actually, we'll use levels on this one. Show me blue. That's much better. I mean, they're a little bit red, but take a little bit of the red out too. Not that much there, just a little bit. Like, we don't want to go all the way this way, and we don't want to go all the way that way. We want to just be like slightly over center. Take a little bit of the red out. Like, what I'm mostly looking at here is like the shingles up here. Like, I expect the bricks to still look reddish. I want the shingles to not look reddish. She needs to wear a bra though. I did notice that, yes. Alright, now it's like, it looks too blue. I mean, why would you wear a bra when you're in the snow? It's not like it's cold out. Actually, I think this one's pretty decent now. I like those levels. We got some shadows here from taking our highlights down. No, I think I want to up the lightness a little more. Because we lost a little bit of detail on the hair. So we want a little bit more brightness here. Hippies. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure this was in... I don't know if this was in California or not. It might have been. You're hosting Woodstock 2022 this weekend. In Wicked Crow's Lurking Bushes. I'm going to need a clarification on that. I don't know if you're referring to... I'm assuming you're referring to something online because, you know, we live most of a country apart. And in many parts of the world, we live multiple countries apart. Girls are like, woohoo, spring break. Well, I mean, some of them are. There are a large number of women who, when it gets slightly cold, retreat into a pile of blankets to rival Mount Everest. Alright, I don't want it to be washed out, but I do want a little bit more brightness. Like, that's too dark. That touch more contrast? Just a touch. Okay, I'm fine with that now. Okay, so here's a good family shot. Wait, who is that? I think she might have died, or I might not have ever met her. Because this is my grandmother. And she looks to be in her 50s, probably? Maybe 40s? Yeah, like, my mom is like 60-ish, and besides like a couple wrinkles, I mean, she wasn't a grandma yet in this picture. It looks like the kids are all like high school, college age. But yeah, I'm assuming that's probably a great aunt. Or maybe great-great-grandma? I don't know who that is. Maybe just a friend of the family. But yes, so we've got a washed out sky. Woodstock is more of a joke. So what are you actually hosting? Ooh. Like, yeah, you removed like the reddish overtones, but it's too much. Undo. Absolutely nothing. So you're hosting an event of some description, but that description is unknown. That is one way you're going to talk out of your... Well, look, if it works for Jim Carrey, it can work for you. Just start practicing in a mirror, being able to individually control every specific muscle in your face in order to transform it into whatever you want it to be. You've been telling people for months to send in applications for your event? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Boom. That over, move this down. Interesting. And where would I find one of these applications per se? Alright, so we've added a little bit of blue tint to the sky. We've taken a little bit of blue out of here. Let's look at the reds. We want a little bit less red overall. Just a little bit less red. Not much. Oh, there we go. We wanted to take red out of the bottom, because you can see, like, we got the grass to turn green by taking the red out of the bottom end. But we do need to come here. I don't even know if is this an application to attend? Is there a rotation? Is there a stage? Are we going to be handing off a multi-stream? Alright, I'm going to actually leave this one alone. Alright, I'll move it up a little bit. Alright, what happens if I move this down? I don't want to move that down. Yeah, this washes out the sky. We don't want that. But we do want to bring up the shadows. Particularly around here. Okay, not quite that much. It shows too much of the grain of the picture. Maybe I don't want to bring up just the shadows. I want to bring up, like, more of it overall. Like, just a little bit of overall brightness. Alright. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to add a little bit of brightness to the whole thing. A little bit of contrast so it doesn't look washed out. And then we're going to select like color, and we want lightness. Now we're going to come to brightness. Why did it... Okay. There's gonna be so many performers, so many of the first stage. And bodyguards. Well, I'll have to make sure that I'm not too dummy thick and alert them. The thing is, I want to brighten up the shadows, but what I need to do is I need to look up the tutorial on the tool for how to set what counts as shadows. Because I think this should count as shadows over here too. That's too bright. We're just going to leave that in the middle. So what color do I want this stuff to be? Still a little dark. Colors. Split view. So let's look at this grass over here. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out and chatting and everything. I appreciate the lurk. Alright, so this part's definitely better. This part is not. Alright, black levels are now too low. What are we doing with the photos? Oh, welcome, Tolsamar. So what we're doing is these are old family photos. Like, this is probably a 40-year-old photo, at least. And I'm trying to fix them. Now, why might they need fixing, you say? Well, like, here's some examples of ones I've done so far. From here to here. Here, which has red hair for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. There. Like this one I think came out really well, going from this to that. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is that these are old family photos. And I'm doing it as a Christmas gift, mostly for my mother, but also, you know, for my aunts and uncles and everything, and my grandma, who is still alive, to maybe, like, brighten up some old photos. And because there are some people in here who are, dead. Because that's what happens with old photos. Time passes, and not everyone keeps living. But yeah, like, these are ones I've worked on, like, tonight. Like, this is the final, and that's what it started as. This one I skipped because there's no fixing this. Like, it's just too washed out. Same with this one, that's just too washed out. I don't know why it won't let me drag that one. In any case. So yeah, like, that's what I got it to, and that's what it started as. This one I think I also skipped. Like, I brightened it up a little bit, but it's not very good. This one actually came out really well. Before, after. So yeah, so that's what we're doing with the photos. This one is just entirely too dark. So we're going to try to fix some exposure on this. There's only so much you can do. But we do what we can. I think that's actually a good level of exposure. Did I lose a bunch of detail? Okay, a little bit more. Do you just change the contrast and brightness? No. I'm messing around in with color curves and everything. Like, especially stuff like this. All that red doesn't go away just because you change contrast and brightness. That it's a little bit more involved. Sometimes I can tell the tool to like autocorrect it, but I have been unlucky so far tonight, and it hasn't done a good job on any of them. Also, you see all these little dots? Those are like corrupted like bits and all, so we need to fix that. Well, sorry, not corrupted bits. That's like a computer term. Like that's wait, I don't want clone tool. I want repair tool. That's like scuffs and problems with the picture, like it got scratched in some places. Yeah, and that even works with, oh wait, where is that one? Like there was this one where you see it had this like big gouge out of it, like the big scratch running through it that, you know, I had to repair. This one I did manually. I have some better tools now for it. Oh, yeah, you can see that before. Come on. It stopped listening to me. But yeah, you can see like this was a damaged photo. And then it's, you know, slightly less damaged. So we took out some of the dots. Like, see, we've got some scratches up here in the sky as well. That we just need to take care of. This is pretty much a moot point. I don't expect anyone who I, like, send these photos to like, from family to even notice that I've taken out, like, little scratches and all like this, but I'm doing it for me. Just like, I see them, they must be fixed. Like, this is just, that's completely dark, so I can't really fix that. But I think I'm gonna call this one good enough. Let's actually selection tools. Select you. This piece out, and this piece out. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Exposure. How does it look if I raise the exposure on just her? It stands out because it's on texture. Boo. Boo! Alright, what if I raise the exposure a little, but not that much? Can I? No. If I raise it, like... Okay, it's technically better. It's hard because you can see, like, that these are printed on, like, cardstock or something, and they have, like, this texture to it. How long have I been editing photos? As in, like, how long have I been learning the tools to edit photos? It's something I picked up earlier this year, actually. I'd say no more than, like, maybe 4 months. And it's not something I've done a lot of, like, concentrated practice on. But yeah, I think that one's that's gonna do it for this one. I think that's all the touch-up I'm gonna do for this. Alright. First things first. We're going to cut out these borders that were taken when people took a picture of a picture. Eventually, it will stop hating me. Something about running OBS, like, just screws with my internet connection. Like, it drops for, like, 10 seconds, like, every half hour or so. But okay, we fixed the corners. We'll make a duplicate. Alright, let's first ask the machine, please auto-fix my white balance. Okay, it's an improvement. It's not great, but it's better. So let's get to color fixing. Alright, so we have some sort of, like, cake or cheesecake covered in strawberries. We have a white and red shirt. And I know these are supposed to be yellow. We also, as you can see, have a ton of noise. We're going to try to address that here a little bit after we do our color correction. But as with most of the others, we have way, way, way too much red. So much red. So we're just going to drop red in the whole image. If we drop it too much, everything turns green. We're going to drop this part more. No, not that much. So here's always the question with these sorts of old photos. Like, if it was a photo, like, from a photo shoot, like I were an actual photographer, which I am not, I would know what color shirt he was wearing. Like, if something went wrong and the photo was this messed up, I would know what color shirt that was, so I'd be able to match it. I don't know what color his collar is supposed to be. I'm pretty sure this is white and red. And these are Ranger's colors. So yeah, yellow, black, and white. But I do know that I don't want his color turning like when I drop there, that's much too green. All right, let's bring a little bit more green. Not that much green, just a tad more. Touch more here. No, that warps it too much. Blue. It does need a little bit more blue. Decent amount more. Right, nope, now they look too purple. So that's like a little like first pass on the coloring. So what we see here, this is after, this is before. So we've made progress. But people still look super red. Now, a certain amount of this is going to be due to my mother and aunt here, probably. When they're younger, it's harder to tell. Like, once they're teens, they're easy to tell apart. But you can see that my uncle here is much paler. These are more tan, and it's entirely possible that my granddad's bald head is sunburned. Do I think it's that red? No. But it's a thing to consider. Is that a... Got it. It showed up as blue because I'd done color correction. It was a white bit. All right, let's try a little bit of just contrast changes. See what we can do with that. Exposure. It is overexposed. Let's see if we can take that down a little bit. No, that's too dark. All right, a little bit down. Get our black levels up. No, we lose the details in the hair if we raise our black levels. We drop them. No, that just makes everything white. All right, we're just gonna leave this with dropping the exposure a little bit. And we'll do shadows and highlights. Can we bring our highlights down a little? All right, not that much. How about our shadows? Wait, we want our shadows up a little bit, probably. We appear to have no shadows according to this, which is fine. Alright, tools, selection tools, fuzzy select, by composite. Thank you. Select, fill holes. Thank you. That. So what is this doing? Right now, I'm not doing anything. I am selecting the areas that I want to do things on. The purple is showing me what is selected. So what I'm doing right now is I'm using the fuzzy select tool, which is essentially select this and things like it that are next to it. And when I move the mouse down and right, it expands like how close it has to be in order to match, and up and left shows less. So the purple is the mask. That's what the draw mask here is doing. That's what's showing me what I'm selecting. But the goal that I'm going for here is I'm trying to select the really red skin tones so that I can individually adjust them separate from the rest of the image. So now when we come here and we go to colors, I can go to red, and if I drop red now, you'll see the whole image doesn't drop, just the parts I have selected do. The purple thing is just an indicator for... Alright, that's too much. Nope, don't like it. Selection. Grow. Now, the reason I didn't like it is that this ridge here was showing up really badly. So I'm going to grow the whole selection by 2 pixels. And free up a little bit more. Yeah, I want this too. Okay, let's try this again. Also, I'm holding Control to subtract and Shift to add. So what I just did there is that I thought this was going too high. So if I hold down Control and I select the wall, it'll remove everything in purple from my current selection. So it was to get it back down onto the head. Like in this stuff, I don't want this stuff. Okay, so we're going to go back to colors, curves. We're going to go to red. And we're going to take the red down. So they still look red. However, watch the before and after. Drastic improvement. So let's see. What else? We want to remove some of the noise on this wall. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select the wall. And I don't need to be that precise on this. I just don't want like people's faces in it, basically. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to blur this, which is a way to remove noise. So you can see here that it's really super noisy. Like, it's a mess. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to... I don't know if this is actually a good candidate for this. But we're going to show it anyway, and I may or may not end up keeping it. So we're going to do some noise reduction on that. So you can see that there's still noise here. But if you compare, like, the wall to this picture, which I didn't do noise reduction on, you can see that there's a vast difference in how grainy it is. Now, the problem with doing that is that it can make things look blurry, which is why I don't want to do it on any faces or anything with, like, clear stuff or clear edges, like a picture. But for the wall, it just makes the picture look a little better. I think this is about as good as I'm going to get on this one. Pretty solid. Okay, this one is actually not that bad. It's not all discolored. It's just a little dark. We can address that probably. We can fix some colors here too, but image crop to selection, thank you. And now we will use our magical tool here and tell it to fix it. If you've heard of Photoshop's context-aware fill or content-aware fill, this is the GIMP equivalent, which sometimes it works really well and sometimes it just falls on its face. But that's how it goes with AI. Alright, so duplicate layer. Alright, first things first, let's take a look at our, well, you know what? Let's let the auto thing do it. Let's select the whole image instead of that little corner down there and let the home and see if the computer can figure it out. Nope, don't like that. All right, first things first. Let's get our exposure. This, there we go, much better. Okay, not quite that much. Looks a little washed out still. A little washed out still. So now that we've upped the exposure, we can actually see that there is that reddening effect that we're trying to handle. So we're going to have to do that in a bit here. But that's why we wanted to do exposure first. So I can't tell what time of year it is, which is a downside. But let's do a little bit of coloring, shall we? And we want to start with red. And just take red down in the whole image. Right, not that far. But if we drop it from the bottom parts, you can see that we get to turn the grass green again, so that's nice. Greens. A little bit more. Turn the grass green, turn the trees in the background green. Blues. Got a little bit more blue in the sky, and it helps some of the skin tones as well. So right now we've just done some exposure and then first pass coloring, which was a really like kind of broad stroke sort of thing. So we've gone from this to this, which is pretty decent. Of course, we could always just do this notice until that happens. This washed out white spot is like blue right now. So we're going to actually do a little bit of touch up on that with our repair tool, but we're going to set the force down a little bit so that we don't like just write over everything. Oh, no. Make her a little bit less shiny. Went a little bit too aggressively there. It looks weird. want that one. There we go. That's a little better. We just need to do a little touch up here. Not much. I don't want to go too hard on this or it'll look really weird. But I think that looks better than the washed out look we got after we increased our exposure. And I think that might be all I do on this one. I think it comes out pretty well. Let's just try something real quick. I'll do a more rigorous select if this works. She's a little overexposed. Yeah, I think, all right, that's a little better. I think we're good with that one. All right. As always, you want to crop it down to just the image to start with. Selection. Wait, no. First we go here. Heal selection. So you can see that this is a little bit off, but for being able to just hotkey it and say go, it's pretty solid. Alright, duplicate layer. Now we get to work. So step 1. See if the computer can fix it. Computer makes a good first pass. But it's still a mess. So let's start messing with some things. All right, exposure. All right, it's already a little overexposed, so let's underexpose it slightly. Not much though. I don't want to lose too much detail, especially on like the darker hair. And black level should be fine. Alright, now what in here? Alright, I know that this is blue, I know that this is red. And I know that skin tones don't look like that. This is where I really wish I knew exactly what color this wall was painted. It's been a couple years since I've been up there though. And it's just not something I would normally pay attention to. What exact color is this wall? Can you give me that in RGB values? Thank you. Alright, curves. Alright. What do we have too much and what do we have not enough of? As always, we have too much red. We want a green tablecloth. We'll take out this much red. Is that turning anything green that I don't want turned green? No. And we can see that our red is still red. Alright. How about blue? We have too much yellow, so we want more blue to counteract it. Not too much, though. It's really easy to make blue have something washed out, basically. See, now everything's blue, but really when you add blue to yellow, it makes things look white, which makes that look more washed out. So let's not go quite that far, even though that might be the accurate coloring. Now, I never know what to do with green. Maybe just because it's, like, opposite of magenta. And it's just, like, I'm dealing with things that are red. I'm dealing with skin tones that are, like, red-ish. But I'm not dealing with much magenta, so green is, like, only for grass. We'll give it a touch more green. Alright, so... what else do I want to do this? I want to despeckle the wall. That's what I want to do. Alright. Select like all of the wall. And then unselect the people. I don't think this needs to be precise, so... select removals. Alright. So now, same as before, we've got all this noise. So we're going to do noise reduction on it. A little stronger. Okay. So we have our noise reduction, which is good. And now you can see the difference. Like, particularly in the corners, it's not as pixelated and noisy. Like, it still has some. Like, we didn't just flood fill the thing. But it's better than it was. Now, about the people and the skin tones. Everyone is still looking a little red, I think. Let's just select... this is a terrible idea, by the way. Okay. So, we have our skin tones roughly selected, which is a terrible idea. And then if we want to look at our colors, let's see what we need to do to these to get them to look good-ish before I bother like selecting everything. Alright, you are still too red. You need more blue. You want blue? Becky, you want blue? Alright. One problem here is that this person's face is like the same color as their shirt. This is not the right way to do this, by the way. I should be using a path for this. Or Or maybe this. We want composite. This shirt is causing me no end of grief. Okay. Yeah, like I don't want to select all that. Paths tool, where are you? All right. Paths tool is not something I am very familiar with. It's something I should be more familiar with because it's incredibly useful, but it's just not something I have done much. Because it lets you basically outline things manually like this. If I can manage to click on things. Do. Okay. Paths. Where's path to selection? Path to selection. Okay. Colors. Curves. Drop the red a little bit more. And we'll add blue. Not that much blue. A little bit less blue. I'm going to ignore this person's face because they're looking down. This one is easier because it's more of just a straight shot. We just grab these little handles and we make it fit to the curve. much, much easier than... It's much more precise than fiddling around with the fuzzy select. It's a good tool for some jobs. It is not the right tool for the job that I was using it for. You can, even if you point these things different directions, you can get like this like S-curve thing. So I can grab like her chin like that. Or jawline rather. And then come up here. This goes out a little bit. This goes in a little bit. This moves a little bit. That's fine. This moves out slightly. This moves out slightly more. The funny thing is, this is like way overkill. Like, the basic color correction is gonna be like pretty much all anyone notices. Well, I suppose this is part of the color correction, me manually going in and making sure the color correction works properly on the faces separately. But I already got most of it just by color grading the image as a whole. Alright, now we have their faces, so same thing. Colors, not auto. Curves. As before, a little bit of blue. Come on, a little bit of blue. A little bit less red. There we go. I think that'll do it for this one. I really like how the skin tones came out in this one. It's really nice, actually, to have it work. Alright, I think this will be our last one. I don't know exactly how much we'll be able to do with it, since it's pretty washed out, but we're going to give it a shot. First things first, we're going to trim it. It's got a little bit of a white edge on that, probably from when it was digitized. Crop to selection, duplicate. Alright. So, first things first, we're gonna have to try to lower our exposure here. It doesn't give us a whole lot of the details back. We're still gonna lower it a little bit. So, what do we want here? What color is stuff supposed to be? Well, I know that these rocks in the background, based on where it is and the slight coloring we have too much blue in this image right now. There's a blue haze thing going on. These rocks should be slightly more red. So we're going to do that. But first, I'm going to learn from my mistakes, and I am actually going to separate her out. So we're going to use our foreground select tool. We're going to draw an outline, rough outline, around our subject. And I'm going to include the foreground rock in this. Then we will draw our foreground subject to tell the AI which parts we know we want. Oh, it's stuck in the same mode as before. It's like, wait a second, that is the wrong color. Of course, we do need to color within the lines, because if we tell the AI that part of the background is actually part of the foreground, it will get confused. Oh, that's right. I'm having this whole rock be part of the foreground too, because it's a very different color than the stuff in the background. And yeah, we'll draw background. We'll tell it that this stuff is definitely in the background, that this is definitely in the background. All right. All right, to new layer. Select, can I get the last selection? Oh, that's what I can do. I can alt-click on this. Then I can invert. No. Go to this layer, then invert. The problem is when I inverted the selection there, it only got it to the bounds of this layer, which is like a box here around that part. All right. This is BG. This is FG. Okay. So, background. We're going to color grade the background separately. We should probably color grade the sky separately as well, but last one of the night. So, we're going to do colors since we already did a bit of saturation. All right, so we think that there's a little bit too much. I think it's a little bit too bright. So, we're going to bring the top end down. But just the top end. Like we think the cloud, I think the clouds are a little bit bright. So we're gonna bring those down, and I think that the this is a little dark, so I'm gonna bring that up. No, not that far. Not that far. Now we think there's a little bit too much blue, so we're going to drop the blue a little bit. Here at least. We're going to increase the blue in the sky. And we're going to cut down on the blue here in the foreground. So like if you see here, okay, I can't do that. I am doing things wrong. Maybe instead I'll turn up the red a little bit. Not on the bottom end, maybe the top end. No, that just turns the clouds pink. I think I am doing this wrong. Let's take a look at green. turn the red up a tiny bit there. All right, foreground. Let's see, colors. Oh no. Let's try to get our exposure better. Now we already did exposure. Let's try to do shadow. I'm gonna highlights down a little. How about shadows? Can I bring the shadows up? Down. The only place that's identified as shadows is like her hair. So yeah, I can bring the shadows all the way up. So this part is all washed out, and I can't really fix that necessarily. So removing shadows is a beast. I don't think I have enough data in this picture to do it anyway. But let's see what we can do with the brightness. That's what I thought. Not too far, but a little bit to bring her shadow out. Oh yeah, that's much better. Hey, and we're back. Oh, that's not good. I don't like what happened to the sky there. I was paying too much attention to the rocks. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's what's wrong with it. All right, so we're going to start over on the background. So we're actually going to bump the saturation on the background. Okay, that is a bit too much on it. I mean, we could just go like more artsy and be like, look, she is against the black and white background, but no. We're just going to bump up the saturation on that. A significant amount, actually. But, like, you can compare the difference. Like, it looks just kind of... I said it was blue, but what it actually looks is, like, kind of gray and faded. So we bumped the saturation on that. And now it looks more blue. But it looks more colored. Like, this actually looks like grayscale now when you switch back to it, now that we bumped the saturation on here. So now we can go to our colors. And now we can drop the blue a little bit. To get it, now that we actually have colors. Okay. you know, how about we do another change here? Okay. We're gonna click here. And we're gonna click here. No, we don't want scissors. We just want freeform select. Click here. Click here. There we go. Now we're not going to mess up the sky when we do our color grading down here. So colors, curves. So we're mostly want to look at this stuff. So it's got a little bit too much blue, so we want a little bit less blue. Not that much less blue. A little less blue, a little more red. And of course, we'll give the plants a little bit more green. Not a ton more. We don't want to mess with everything. Alright, where's the plants? Yeah, the plants are all down here. Give the plants more green. So we got that going for us. Okay. Now compare this to alright, so that's what it looked like before. That's what it looks like now. Before. Now. Well, sorry, that was before this particular correction. Let's see. New layer group. I want to be able to turn all of these off at once, which is why I'm moving them into this layer group, so that we can compare to the actual original. So this is with all the different parts edited, and this is what it looked like initially. So that is our last picture for the night. So I don't know if anyone's still here because the general numbers are very misleading. But so I don't have people for a raid, so we won't be raiding anyone. It is my first stream back in a while. Will I be doing a lot of image or video editing on stream? Don't know. It's something I kind of meant to get around to, and I figured if I planned to do it on stream, I would get it done better, and I did. Not that this is done. I have other images left. This was I have another 10 images that I could potentially do. Will I do all of them? Probably not. Some of them are just not that good. Some of them just don't need work. But I will at least do some of the other ones. Perhaps tomorrow on stream we'll do that. It'll be a good Christmas Eve thing, because everyone's going to be here instead of with their families. So, thank you all for stopping by and hanging out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, that's great. If you didn't enjoy it, I don't know why you're here. If you were hoping to learn things, I hope you got that too. So, thank you all. Sorry for the internet bouncing. I will re-debug that